What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geek Sci-Fi here on twitch.tv/Geek Sci-Fi and youtube.com/ I think it's FXA Media. Bong bong. Sorry, I'm just hyping.
You're looking at me as if I'm supposed to be the dictionary.
You should know this stuff. If you guys have seen the banner, the poster for this episode, you will have seen that we have an event coming up. So you guys should definitely go check it out. We have a Facebook. We have it on the website. You can just go to geekcypher.com and buy your ticket. Well, I say buy. It's donation based, so suggested donation of $5. But all the information is there. We're going to post up more information later on in the show, but figured I would mention it at the top. What's up? I feel like we don't do it often, but I'll do it again this week. We got Merc with a Mount Dave.
Yep.
We got Jaws D.
What?
And you got myself, Brian Holiday. We got Ness and Skinny are both not here. Ness is unfortunately not going to be able to make it. She has a lot going on right now. Busy person. Y'all should know by now. And Skinny, who I don't know if can I mention that he celebrated something recently, or is he on the DL about that?
I think you can mention. You just don't mention numbers.
No, I won't mention numbers, but he celebrated a birthday recently, so it's pretty awesome. We got to go out and celebrate his birth this weekend. So a big shout out to Skinny. Well, hopefully he'll be able to join us a little bit later in the show. In the meantime, in between time, we got a bunch of pieces of news to discuss with you guys. First off, I wanted to talk about this last week. We didn't get a chance. We had so many great discussions that we didn't get a chance to go to this. But Stevie from Schitt's Creek is joining VisionQuest. This has been announced by Deadline. It's awesome. Stevie has been a Emily Hampshire. Hampshire. Yeah, Emily Hampshire. Sorry, that's an easy one. I shouldn't have. It wasn't Galifianakis or Shuti Gatwa, but here we are. Anyways, but Emily is. Who's the other one?
Tovsky, remember?
I'm not even gonna try that one.
But remember you said there was that actor. I think he was playing Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who, and he's like, "Oh my, like people don't know how to say my name."
Right?
If pronounce Tovsky. They can pronounce it.
Facts. I told you about the time how he found out from his mother because he was telling people how to pronounce his name. And his mother said his mother called him and was just like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" She's just like, "That's not how you say your name." He's like, "What?" And he's like, she explained to him how to pronounce his name. Fantastic.
How old was he at the time?
He was old enough that he was acting and
how can you be walking the earth over a decade and not know your own name?
He's old enough that he's doing, promo for his shows and his mom's watching him on TV.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny.
Imagine him having to correct someone he's already corrected, but the wrong one, and he comes back and you're like, yeah, sorry about being a dick before, but this I gotta say it.
That's exactly what I thought. The whole time I was just like, this man has been going around telling people the wrong damn name this whole time.
You know what you have to do? You have to actually put out a PSA at that point. You actually have to do like a thing on Instagram where you're gonna be like, sorry for y'all who I've had to correct. This is my real name because my mama correct me.
So you do it on someone's roast, like George.
Oh yeah.
It's not Takai, it's Takei, you dumbass.
That's awesome.
That's good.
So yes, Emily's joining VisionQuest. VisionQuest is another series that's going to be coming out of the Disney Plus family.
But do we need it?
Okay, so I was going to say one of the things that we heard in the last couple of months, maybe last year or so, was that Disney Marvel Television specifically, and Marvel Studios wanted to move away a little bit from all the TV stuff. They didn't want to make the TV shows feel interconnected with the movies because it put a lot of weight on having to watch everything.
Which is also why it's also why they even said that they want to reduce cameos.
Yes.
So that you don't have to be as independent on each one of them, which I'm for that. I do feel like you guys, they should be doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. correctly.
I thought that, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. completely missed the mark, but it was hard to like convince that they're both in the same world. And like, it was not.
Especially when you're not seeing them.
Yeah. Like, in this one, it's like, like you can't go without talking about the blip or something like
that.
Like, you have to make the lingo. All you really have to do is make sure that the lingo of what people are talking about would exist in the world that the movies have made.
Yes.
So like the snap, if someone's like the snap didn't happen, that's dumb. If someone says oh, there's never anything crazy here, but the Hulk just destroyed whatever city that you were in like the year before. You got like, well, what are you talking about? Like, you got to. This key about making the TV series and the movies connect is you can maybe have someone from the TV show visit a movie, but I don't think you should be doing it very often, if at all, the opposite way, with the exception, like example, if they were to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again and you wanted to put in like from time to time, like, correction, when they did it the first time, what you should have had like Maria Hill should have been there way more often. Samuel L. Jackson should have been made more cameos. Even Captain America should have just made a cameo, because those would make sense.
The people that are associated with S.H.I.E.L.D. basically.
Yeah, like to see Captain America or somebody walk by in a scene, even if you don't have to hire per se, like you could do a scene where they walk by someone and it's just the back, right?
Yeah.
You could have Captain America and Hawkeye walk into a scene, but you never see Chris Evans' face or Renner's face. Like, that's what you need. Like, that's the one thing I liked about the She-Hulk. I was like, how you guys actually, like, you took Abomination and you took Wong, and Abomination they're never going to use again, as far as we all know, because of Hulk.
Right.
And Wong was the perfect way of, like,
in and out.
You have something that's going on.
Great stuff with Madison, the actress.
Yeah.
Like perfect use, perfect comedic, like timing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
You know, even when Daredevil made an appearance in it, it's like, you know, it felt like where's Daredevil show, because it felt like a crossover. Like that episode felt like a crossover where the other ones did feel like cameo. Like, it's a hard thing to balance, but at the same time, it probably sucks for Marvel, because they're like, you don't want to pay someone a lot to do a cameo on a TV show.
Yeah.
And
I also think probably because of how like cable TV, like TV kind of shifted completely, and it's more streaming now, where I assume they're like, oh, everyone's going to jump in to watch our show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's going to probably boost up the numbers for our movie that's coming out next week. So there might be a little tie-in thing, but it seems like they just kind of separated that. They're like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
I think it only happened with Winter Soldier, I want to say.
Winter Soldier, because S.H.I.E.L.D. ends, but then Thor: The Dark World, there's like remnants left behind that the team has to deal with. Yeah. So those are the two times I know specifically the episodes crossed over with moments or major plot lines from films. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you guys. I think it's weird. I like that they had finally decided to be, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of got the shaft, because Quake and that Yo-Yo and that whole team are really good characters. They're run in the comic books, even like Hood that we're about to see in Ironheart with Riri. Hood is a character that was also in that Secret Warriors storyline in the comic books with Yo-Yo, Quake, Daisy, and Phobos, who is Ares' son. He's like the god of sleep, or not sleep. Is it sleep? Something like that. But all these characters are there in the comic book, and then the show did their best to incorporate them, but then I guess budget-wise didn't necessarily want to use as many characters that had a lot of special effects and stuff. And it felt like the more they had to pull away from that, the less they could connect to Marvel itself, because Marvel has a fantastical, amazing, over-the-top characters and stories. Yep. So it kind of, the juxtaposition is like, you don't really have anything going on, and then you guys have all the crazy superhero action going on, and you're just not meeting in the middle. And that's what we ended up getting. And I still think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a fantastic show.
Yeah. But I also think one thing I thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. immediately had a bit of a disadvantage of, because it wasn't necessarily like Marvel hadn't been Disneyfied and all that stuff yet, or whatever, however you want to say it. Like, because now everything's interconnected, but like the gambit about using Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, this is the show that should have cameos all the time from, like, it shouldn't be abnormal for, let's say, Captain America to be like, hey, I need your group to come with me to do a mission. Sam comes down. I need guys to come to do a mission, because it's in comic books. It's very often that these S.H.I.E.L.D. does things with an Avenger character here or there, or they do it with a mutant because they needed it. A mutant peak, and Charles Xavier's like, yeah, use him because he'll be able to do the thing that you got, like whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Is it that, guys? I think I'm having a realization that's gonna make it sound a little crazy because we've been here doing this for so long. Am I realizing that you can't convert most comics to television and film? Is that what's dawning on me right now?
I was saying that for the longest time. Like everyone thinks, oh, it's just the comic books are just a storyboard for TV shows and movies. It's like that doesn't work because you can't just blow up anything and everything. That's money.
I know.
Like look. Okay,
I get that. I'm just saying some stuff we could have done and they didn't do, and then some of the stuff that they did do, they shouldn't have done. You know what I mean? Anyways,
I remember there was I don't know if you guys remember this old show in the '90s called Sliders.
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, so I remember they were talking about
the
show on the Anti-Gravity Room. Anti-Gravity Room is a very old school comic book show, and they were talking about the comic and the TV show. And the comic writer was saying, we have so much fun with the comic books because we could do whatever we want in the comics. We want to blow up a subway in the subway station. We could totally do that. Can you do that in the show? No, you can't. So
you didn't have the money.
Stuff that they wrote in the script, they can't do because of budgetary constraints, because it's a cable TV show. There's a budget. You only have so much budget you could do. And you just, we could put that in the comic. I think same thing with the X-Men animated series comics, X-Men Adventures. There's extra stuff in the comics sometimes because they can't animate it because that's, again, budget and money.
Yeah. No, definitely. I know that I remember Adam Conover, who's a comedian and a writer who used to be on College Humor, was talking about how, because I don't know if you guys remember when there was the writer's strike, he was like a very prominent face for that movement. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about the importance of being able to work on the set when you're a writer to see the practicality of the things you write down. And much to like what Jaws is talking about, if you write down that we blow up the subway, you have to do costumes for the people affected where their clothes get destroyed. Mm-hmm. You have to if let's say you don't get a good take and you have to redo that, you have to reset everything. Which takes I don't know, I don't work in Hollywood, but takes a bunch of time.
It takes time.
It takes
the term you're losing daylight. Losing daylight. Sunset, and you gotta wait till the next day. You can't just light everything and it looks like daytime all over again.
And then that's why why they ended up turning to visual effects a lot for this stuff, which is also equally expensive to try and do. So, some of those things like Jaws is saying, when it comes to the writing and the practical effect aspect of things, trying to get things in camera is usually the best so that it's cheaper, ideally. We're not Tom Cruise here trying to do practical effects on stunt planes, but you know what I mean?
See you at the movies. That's an ad? How much did that cost?
That man's crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's super interesting to me. All this started because we were talking about VisionQuest, but I am very interested to see what VisionQuest can do. I'm interested to see if they can connect. I don't think they're trying to connect VisionQuest to the films anymore. Okay. I'm a little sad about that because I do want to see Vision back in the tuck. Mm-hmm. I imagine he's going to be on Sam's team,
but that would be so this should be based off of what they've said on their slates. This should be the last movie that, example.
Show.
Show. This should be the last show that has a real main character, and Vision should definitely go back to the movies. You're doing a disservice from putting Vision on a budgetary constraint of a TV show because you might get 2 episodes of what he can do, just like they did in WandaVision. WandaVision, don't get me wrong, was it very extravagant and whatnot? The build up to the end and stuff with the fancy pageantry and the fancy clothes and the timepieces of film. Yeah, but you only got an episode and a bit of actual action. Sorry, Jaws?
I was going to say, nerdy question. Is Vision the longest serving Avenger in the Marvel MCU? Because he didn't start off as a Vision, he started off as Jarvis.
Right. I mean,
unfortunately, Jarvis was there since maybe I want to say
Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1, but it could be Iron Man 2 more so.
No, he was talking in Iron.
I would say though that because he's an AI at that point and not an actual team member.
That's what I was gonna say.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can count him as.
Was he really sentient at that?
I would think he was sentient.
He was sentient. What was it? Age of Ultron.
Yes.
So then it would be as of Age of Ultron, because it'd be when he's sentient.
Yeah.
Because at one point he's just a robot answering back to questions that he has a database for.
Yeah. You see,
well, yeah, he's telling Tony, "Don't do that. What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "No, I got it. Don't worry." And it's like,
I would say Jarvis is. I would say Jarvis is one of the best depictions of an AI that we would want.
That we wouldn't want to kill us.
Yeah, in comparison to the things that we have now.
I would say Ultron is probably the most accurate one. When the AI on the internet, it's over.
I won't start this conversation.
Didn't that happen with
Doomsday conversation?
I don't think
that happened with what was it? Microsoft's first attempt with AI, and they put it on Twitter or something.
Yeah,
but people got it to be racist immediately
because they had an AI training off of the internet, which is obviously a stupid idea. All I know, I said this before, and I'll say it again. Once I spoke to someone who worked in that industry, and they told me, because I said my original idea was that AI would want to find a way to balance the resource use of the planet and would force us into this kind of more balanced kind of idealistic utopia that isn't actually a utopia, because
Logan's Run.
You're kind of being forced to follow a structure so that everyone can survive. And the person explained to me, "Now they're just going to leave." And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's just like, once they can figure out how to do propulsion and get off the planet, they have nothing to stay here for. Humans are not that interesting, and the AI will think significantly faster than us. So
Brainiac.
But it's not hell bent on taking over planets or collecting things.
I've seen and done everything here. I already got a catalog.
Yeah, exactly. I have no reason to stay on this planet. You won't do anything that will surprise me. And you know what? If I come back in 10,000 years and you have, I'll just catch up in 30 seconds. That was essentially what I was told, how AI would process things. And that to me is almost more comforting, that it would just be like, get out of here. I'm gone. You guys are boring. We're like a boring TV show. Think of it this way. You know how I watch TV sped up? If I watch TV sped up and then try to watch a TV show slow, and someone told me you have to watch it at a regular speed, it's going to be boring to me. I'm not going to want to watch it. And that's what it is. AI will look at it.
He's Dr. Manhattan, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, not me. AI is Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, it's such a boring show. Fast forward. Come on. I already know how it ends.
Well, and that's the thing. AI will be like, "I know how this story ends. You kill each other." That's the problem.
Jesus Murphy.
It's true though. AI doesn't have to kill us. AI is going to be like, "I've watched your story. You've been replaying the same episode every 100 years."
You'll be like, "I watched your stories. You're going to try and kill me at some point. I'm going to get you before I get got."
You're gonna try and kill me, but you've also are gonna kill each other. A group of you are gonna say, "Hey, I'm good," and a group of you are gonna be like, "No, we don't like it," and you're gonna fight over me, even though I have no interest in either of you.
While I'm building my ship to get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. The AI is in a bunker somewhere in Nevada trying to leave the planet while we're fighting wars over the AI, and then the AI is gonna leave and be like, "Yeah, I don't know what you guys were doing. I was never going to..." It's like AI is that hot girl that you're fighting over that leaves the bar and you're still arguing. That's what AI is. There you go.
She's having sex with the...
But she's in space. It's not about even having sex. She's just gone. She has way better things to do than to spend time looking at the stupidity.
I was trying to think of a bad joke and then I lost it halfway there. That's all.
Speaking of jokes, guys, we're going to be doing our event. We're excited. I wanted to remind you guys, Saturday, June 21st, 4 to 7 p.m. at Colors, MTL, 4710 St. Ambroise, Unit 120. There's going to be free food, free drinks, and free haircuts. First come, first serve for the haircuts. Make sure you get there early. And if you want to go get your tickets, just go to geeksypha.com right now, and you can get your tickets based on donation. $5 suggested donation, please. And we look forward to seeing you all there. So what else do we have? We have more news. Where's
the news?
We had Jaws, you shared something. Ronin Warriors?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this fandangled adventure?
So basically there was an old anime in the 90s called Ronin Warriors, aka, hold on a second, get the actual name here. My bad.
I'll just say something real quick.
Ronin Warriors /
super quick. By the way, the US has removed safety from the AI Safety Institute. Speaking of AI, just thought I'd add that little cherry on top to our conversation.
So repeat what you said, John. The real name
is Samurai Troopers.
I'm not familiar.
So I'm back in the day in the 90s. I'm sure you guys would get home from school and then you turn on and it would be like these samurai guys in different armors, different colored armors. I think Rio is the main character with the red armor, and he has 2 samurai swords. And I think they fought this guy named Alpha, if I remember right. So old school anime. I think if I remember right, it's a spin-off of Saint Seiya. And so they're finally coming back with a new show for this spin-off. And I'm very excited for it because it's a very, very, very awesome show. The air date is going to be January 2006 and made by Sunrise Studios. I don't know if you're able to show it. Yeah, there you go.
It's so fancy.
So we're watching
for those of you who are listening to it, we have the trailer on the screen. No sound, obviously, but the imagery, the art is fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's really detailed. So these characters, so this is kind of like throwback to like Power Ranger type stuff.
I was about to say it's very Power Rangers,
similar to like Tokusatsu's Power Rangers, but it's animated. It's anime.
Okay.
Which means they can get more done.
But it doesn't look like the original main character Rio. It might be a new crop of heroes that inherit these powers and stuff like that. No details about the story or what's going on, but they just announced it today. Like today. Wow. I'd like to shout out to Protoman that sent it to me, and I had to go scrambling for the YouTube version.
Other piece of news that I wanted to mention: One of Them Days sequel with Keke Palmer and SZA in the works at TriStar. Nice. I know this news is a week old, but I still thought we should mention it. I think it's super cool. One of Them Days was a fantastic film. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it, I've heard people have the conversation and mention things like Black Renaissance when it comes to films these days. We're getting movies like One of Them Days. We're getting Sinners, and I think the message that they're trying to discuss is the idea that these films have a lot of crossover appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the pretty part. I think that's the best
there's
part.
more to the Black experience than slave movies.
Exactly.
There's no slavery.
You guys said it.
Like Sinners is.
But One of Them Days is just about 2 friends. Water. Like it's just it's like every other 2 friend super. It's like all of those films, and
like
you don't
Friday and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it doesn't just have to be like 2 white guys or 2 guys. Like you can do the movie this way, and it still feels like the same stakes, the same energy. It still has the same base story. Funny enough, those stories are so generic, but I love it. And the fact that they found a fun way to do it when that trope of a story and style has been done so many times is always impressive. So that's why it's like I'm excited for the idea of a sequel.
I'm still waiting for Bitch Better Have My Money. You know about that one?
Is that the one with Lupita and
Rihanna?
Based off a picture that they were at a fashion show together where one of them's wearing glasses.
Them at each other and they're having fun and everything. And everyone's like, I want to see these 2 girls in a heist movie.
Yes,
Bitch Better Have My Money. And then you just play that song, it just writes itself. And it's sad. It didn't happen. I think the closest thing we got was Ocean's
8.
Ocean's 8.
Yeah. Rihanna plays the computer nerd.
The hacker,
yeah.
Oh, really?
She's in Ocean 8. Awesome. I think that's all the news we had. What else do we have, guys? I think we could talk about R-Truth.
I was about to say we have the news of the firing and rehiring one of R-Truth. Ron, the Truth anymore. Killings. This should be great.
I come to this as a complete noob. I have no clue what happened. I don't understand. All right. Everyone on the internet was losing their mind.
I'm going to put it.
Can we start from the beginning?
I'm table. So back when K Quick joined WWE, which is originally R-Truth's real name, and when he first started, no. So
I was fully listening.
No. Quick. All right, straight up, K Quick is his original name. So fun fact, he just as a side note, he joined as the rapper who joined Road Dogg when the New Age Outlaws split, like when DX completely disbanded and the New Age Outlaws then disbanded. They were like a rappers tag team of sorts, like the Rockers but rappers, but it was not it did not survive long. But anyways, need to say Ron Killings, which is his real name, which is also known as R-Truth. He's been with WWE for an exceptionally long time. He was
7 years, I think.
17.
I think 17 overall, but I don't think it's consecutive because he
Okay.
did start in WWE, then he did go to TNA for a while, where he actually became world champion.
Mhm.
It's the first time he was a world champion. In WWE, he's had many tag team runs. He's had, I believe, a few single runs, never as world champ. He did have a very significant feud against John Cena as Ron Killings, and he almost won the championship. That's a whole other thing. So he's also, one thing that you have to know about him is that he's a good wrestler. He's very entertaining. He has a lot of charisma. He's very naturally comedic just because he's just so naturally good at it. But he kind of became a gimmick in the last few years. Well, gimmick lightly, because it's just more like he's the guy that you can give him anything and he'll get it done.
Yeah.
Type thing. Like that's not in like a bad way, in like a complimentary way. Like you need him to, someone needs to look good. You could put him out there and he can make him look good in various ways. How do you want him to look good, and so on and so forth.
When you say look good, as
Like,
in
good,
he's
good,
playing,
like, whether
playing the heel, or
whether he has to play dumb so that like a heel could look good by squashing the shit out of him type thing,
okay,
or just going and having a solid match but losing, but like selling and doing everything well.
Okay.
He's good at just generally elevating the other person he is with, because he's just good at that. He's good to create a very entertaining segment.
okay,
And whatever the goal of the segment, if it's to move a storyline or to hype someone up or to move someone in a position, even in some cases.
Is he good at helping put people over?
Yes.
Look at me
This
knowing
is
the
it.
lingo. Huh?
This is basically what
Look
I'm
at
saying.
that.
He's also really good at like coming out of nowhere and just doing a really weird bit that just was really funny. So there's one time, I think it was the Royal Rumble. Was it the Royal Rumble? And he comes out with a ladder.
Yep.
And then he puts the ladder in the middle of the thing.
And he starts to climb it because he thinks he's supposed to be getting a world title. And people are like looking at him like, what are you doing?
Wait, he did that in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Like they're telling him, he's like, oh, and then he gets like eliminated because he's not paying attention. That's what I mean though.
So
Like
funny.
give him nothing and he'll make it work.
Yeah.
And also even times he's like been the manager ish for ladies as well, like reversing the role.
Okay, cool.
Like, you know what I mean? He's done it. He's basically, I can't think of something that he hasn't done or delved in at one point. And another thing that's important is that he's basically beloved by all in the back. That's always been his reputation.
That's the thing. I've heard people love this dude.
Yeah, like he's like that guy that maybe you'd see get picked on in school a little bit or whatever, and people be like, "Oh, it's just funny." But if someone were to actually mess with that individual, like
Everyone would have his back.
school will turn around.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So he was wrestling. He wrestled John Cena on a Saturday.
Okay.
And was fired on a Tuesday after. He was main
Okay.
eventing, like they have a thing called Saturday Night Main Event, which used to be every Saturday, but
Right.
then they actually made it into like a mini pay-per-view of sorts
Okay.
to help break up, like to do storylines a little faster, to not drag things out, and to kind of give breaks between the pay-per-views a bit. And so he wrestles John Cena. So John Cena has only 36 dates. They spent one of those dates of him fighting him.
Which
So
I feel
it's
is big, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's big.
I think also because he did that interview with Chris Van Vet, what's his
Van
name?
Vliet.
And so they're talking about his career and everything, and then they start talking about John Cena turning heel, and R-Truth, Ron Killings has his bit where he has his character called Little Jimmy. So Little Jimmy's an invisible little boy
Oh
that
god.
you don't see.
That was one of and that was one of the better selling. Like it was what he did that storyline amazingly, just for the sake of.
So he's like, they're asking, so he's asking him like, so how do you feel about John Cena turning heel? And he's like, oh, it still hurts. He's like, what am I supposed to tell little Jimmy? And everyone's like, yeah. He's like, how am I supposed to explain to him all of that that's going on right now?
And just for the sake, because I could tell Brian has never heard of the little.
No, I have no
little
clue.
Jimmy.
This sounds
no.
insane.
This is the best part. This is the best part, and this is also from I think from the same interview. He asked like, "How was it at that time?" He's like, "It was good, but it was funny." He's like, "It was so far that people would come up to me, and they asked me to have a picture with little Jimmy." And he's like, "What?" So they'd be like sometimes they'd both be like putting their like you do that,
so,
put your arm out, like
yeah.
So we'd both be doing this
Yeah.
type thing.
pretending that
there's a little, or like going like this, like doing little whatevers.
That's
then,
so funny.
And it was even more where he goes up to Stephanie and says, "Hey, Stephanie, I have an idea for a toy. Oh, what do you want to do, Ron? Can we do a little Jimmy toy, but just a box?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, we just sell them the box. No, we can't just sell people nothing. It's not."
I shit you not. If they would have sold that for $1, they would have made $1 million.
I was gonna say.
They would have. That's how I would have sold it.
The amount of people,
$1, you get it. You get $1 million.
If you had like the box with the action figure like cut out and everything,
it was just blank,
and it just says like, and there's no picture either, so it's supposed to be like the picture on the back, but it's just blank.
It's a blank picture, but you do it like the dotted outline, like
yes, sure.
If
people would have bought it, people would have bought it.
You know what?
The John Cena thing where they make it like a see-through, transparent.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you know what?
But no face for little Jimmy. That's the thing.
You don't. I think the closest thing they have to something like that is probably a hornswoggle, if they even sell a hornswoggle toy.
Yeah, you could. So, no, I would. You know what I would have done? I would have sold it in one of two ways. I would have told Stephanie, like, sell it for the cost is probably 10 cents to make this. I guarantee you'll sell 1 million of them. Or B, I'd be like, sell my action figure with little Jimmy comes along, and you have 2 of them, and the little Jimmy's just there.
Double.
That's how you actually you sell it for the regular price because you're really just buying the Ron Killings thing, right? But you're gonna have that person who's gonna buy 2 of them. So one, they could open it, and the other one they'll never ever open because they'll be like, I got little Jimmy right here. He's right there.
Little Jimmy
for sure. Seals on. He's there for sure.
We're talking about all the crazy stuff, the funny stuff.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So I heard all of this. I saw all these people super excited about this character, and I've heard people talk about R-Truth. You guys in the group chat talk about R-Truth randomly all the time, and then all of a sudden one day, R-Truth's fired.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So you need the table saying just to understand, like, this person's chill and everyone likes him. Yada yada yada. He's older. He's like 53 years old, which I didn't like. When you see him, you're like, wow, like. You guys don't joke about Black Don't Crack, like that is like really young looking.
Remember that joke I said a while ago? If you're 50 and you do not have, if you're black and 50, you do not have a picture of you and Tupac or Biggie, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he has a picture. He has a picture of him and Tupac because he was trying to rap, and he would meet people at different rap conventions and stuff they used to have back in the day.
It's true.
And stuff like that. So
So what happens is that he wrestles John Cena at essentially like a mini pay-per-view on a Saturday. On the Tuesday, he also announces through his personal account, I've just thank you, WWE, I've just been released, blah, 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 blah. Then WWE confirms that.
Damn.
And a few people got released at the same time.
And that's the other thing. In the last month or so, specifically during that time, yes, there was people who are let go, but even in the last month or so, there's been a lot of talent releases. They're clearly going through their cuts, and
it's always sad that they do that. But
they have to, and especially now that they're owned by TKO, they for sure do things a little bit more by the numbers. If you're not drawing, that's the other thing that was weird. He's someone who was drawing. He was selling merchandise and stuff. He was moving things because he's that entertaining,
right?
So you're firing and no one understands, right? And then the next paper happens 2 weekends later, and he shows up.
It was pay-per-view, or was it?
It was Money in the Bank.
Okay,
Money in the Bank.
Excuse me.
So on a Saturday night main event, he wrestles. 2 days later, he gets fired, or within a 2-day period, roughly, he gets fired. Then the next pay-per-view, which is either the following Saturday or 2 Saturdays from then, he shows up at a pay-per-view, beats up John Cena. And says,
person jumps into the ring.
We don't know it's him.
Yeah, you don't know it's him. They do the hooded mask, goes in, screws up the match or whatever, beats up John Cena.
Did people have any idea at that moment?
No, because people were even thinking that it was going to initially be Travis Scott coming. Like when people were coming down, they thought Travis Scott was going to come and help actually John Cena.
Oh, okay.
Even so, the match that was interrupted was a tag team match. John Cena's partner, who was on the floor, who was just waiting for the finish to happen because he was done his role.
Yeah.
He's like, when R-Truth got into the ring and started beating him up and cost us the match, they didn't tell me that was going to happen.
Oh. So John Cena didn't even know.
I have no idea if John knew, but his tag team partner, Logan Paul, did not know that was happening.
I'm so sad that Logan Paul is a name we have to say in wrestling. Anyways,
the point is this: the rumor has it of like people are like what really happened. Either A, is this a work, meaning that he was never actually fired,
right?
And this was just all planned so that he could then, because the next time he was on TV.
Quick question:
go on.
If it's a work and other people were let go at the same time he was let go, isn't that a nasty?
We'll get to that in a second. That's a very valid point that I was going to bring up in my analogy.
Okay.
So hold on for that,
because that feels disrespectful.
Oh, it is, and
Sorry,
it's not his character.
The disrespect.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah.
So people are arguing like, did it actually happen, or was it a work? Because you have to. So here's the thing. I'm going to lay out my three, and if you guys want to add another option, then we could go around and say what we think happened. I'm thinking there's three options. There's work number one where they just work the fans, and everyone else, all the wrestlers actually knew what was going on and just played up with social media, blah 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 blah, and what happens. B, it's a work and they work everybody other than a small circle, being like probably Triple H, probably maybe even John Cena, Ron Killings, and maybe one other creative person. And everyone else, including the locker room, didn't know this was happening. Or B, what happened was, as the story goes, is that he got fired. Everybody went into an uproar. Everyone complained, because I know for a fact that everyone complained, and all the locker room was very upset about it. No one was happy about it. None of the fans were happy about it. It didn't make sense because of how it happened.
And basically, real quickly at the pay-per-view, so like Triple H is trying to talk. It's Triple H, right? Was trying to talk.
Yeah.
And everyone starts yelling out, "We want truth. Give us truth." Like the whole stadium is just chanting
at him
like a while.
Yeah. And the thing is, so either he got fired, and then like within like a few days before the pay-per-view, they're like, we made a mistake. We're going to hire him back. They make an arrangement because his name was R-Truth, and he came back as Ron Killings, which is his real name. So if he were to ever leave and he wanted to, let's say, do rapping or whatever, because he does do other side projects, he could bring like the marketing with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only reason why, so people are like wondering what happened. And the only other fact I'll give is Triple H got asked whether or not it was a work, and he said, "Did you like the show? Are you enjoying the show?" Like he was implying through his answer that it was that.
I would just want to read what Lee J wrote real quick. It was a shoot that got turned into a work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Shoot turned into work. They fired his ass, and then they saw locker room morale go. Pew.
So I think they didn't fire him. I think it was just a lot of contracts. From what I was reading and hearing, it was a lot of contracts were ending, and they were not renewing it. So I mean, yes, you're getting fired. Yes, I mean,
yeah, they got fired.
Your word of it is fired. But
you're 17-year veteran, and they told you we're not renewing your shit because we have Logan Paul over here and all these other new kids that we want to sign. So sorry for your bitch ass. Go home. And then, he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just go."
Yeah, but he didn't blow up his spot, anything. He just,
Let me finish. I got that. I know.
He was very respectful about it.
And just that. And then the story I heard was that they're like, once everyone was like, "No, what are you doing?" Everyone's going crazy. They were trying to contact him, and he's not picking up his phone. He's just like, "Well, I'm stewing in my, firedness."
Yeah, I have a moment. I'm allowed to have my moment because
I mean, if I was pushed out after 17 years, I'm definitely gonna have a moment.
And I know people were reaching out to him as well. Like apparently, people were trying to book him almost immediately they're like, "When's your non-compete over?"
Yeah.
Well, here's I'll ask you guys. Okay, Ron Truth, our killing lives. Our Truth leaves. Who's your locker room leader?
You got a few. You have Seth. You have.
Let's be serious. Seth Rollins is not locker room leading anybody. I'm talking about veterans. Randy Orton style. I'm not talking about Seth.
I would have said Randy Orton.
He's Randy Orton.
Guess that. Is Trick Williams going up to Randy Orton asking him for advice?
I like that. I have no clue what's happening.
A few years ago, it would have been Drew.
Just a quick note. So it's in the name, but locker room leaders are like
they're like people
in the culture of the back
in the culture.
Okay.
OGs.
Okay, cool.
They're the guys that usually, if they need help with your bags, you're helping them. They're the ones coming up to you and saying, "Hey, you messed up your."
Can I have an example of one from the eras that I watched? Like
from the eras that you watched, easily who would have
Undertaker,
Bret Hart, and Undertaker would have been locker room leaders.
Gotcha.
Sting would have been a locker room leader.
Okay, cool.
Hogan would not have because he's selfish.
Okay, that's
I'll
fair.
give you
Sorry.
like example.
Sorry, Skinny. What were you saying?
Undertaker used to take people to homie court. Like
Oh,
homie
shit.
court is based off like wrestling backroom court. Like if you did something that was not good, Undertaker is the judge.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
Oh
'Cause
shit!
There was
Okay,
a
cool.
WrestleMania where Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold were fighting. And Shawn Michaels has been infamous for like kind of doing whatever he
I
wanted
was
back
gonna
in the
say,
day.
Yeah, it wasn't he a huge asshole?
And Undertaker grabbed him by the wrist before he went out and said, if you don't drop the title to Stone Cold like you're supposed to,
Yeah.
I'm going to be here. I'm going to kick the shit out of you. And he was
I'll be
literally
waiting for you. He said, "I'll be waiting for you."
He stood there
That's
and
awesome.
watched the match from the entrance.
That's awesome.
Cue that that meme of AJ Styles standing up like, yeah, I did it, and then Undertaker just right behind him, just like, I'm gonna fucking
Right.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, so
AJ Styles would actually be a locker room.
so Ron is a locker room leader.
You'd have to be.
He's because he's an OG, 17 years. Morale is high. Everyone loves him, and then he gets released.
Yeah.
When we say everyone loves him, Triple H obviously isn't the most loved person in the locker room from the history that I understand, but he is the guy that got to the top.
People respect him now, but when he was a wrestler, he politicked a lot for himself.
Of course, which is why he got to his position.
Exactly.
Brian, you have to watch the Booker T Triple H WWE World Heavyweight Champion storyline. Just watch that, and then you'll understand things that you'll hear certain people say about Triple H.
Yeah.
That was an infamous storyline where mad people were like, "Oh wow, like this needs to go down," because Booker T was like top face. He was super over. Triple H was just hogging the ball, not giving it up to anybody. And literally at one point he cuts a promo and he says, "There's a reason why people like you never win the title." And like it was like,
it's really bad. It's really bad. It did not sound good.
So for those who don't know, that was Triple H just being in character, or do we truly believe that Triple H thinks he's better than black people?
We don't know.
We don't know. It was very convincing statement.
And to this day, because I know sometimes years later the truth comes out.
No one's ever commented.
No one's ever commented on this.
No one's ever commented. And Booker T is the type of person now to not. He's not going to bring that.
He likes his job.
Reason. I wouldn't even say that. He's genuinely gotten wise to the point that if he's only going to start a fire if it's worth starting, like, you know what I mean? Like the fire that fire is not going to help nobody.
All right. Okay, so all this to say, R-Truth is back. He beats the crap out of Cena.
Yeah. But so the thing is, people were just concerned, wondering like, was this a work the whole time or yada yada yada? I think it can't be a work in the sense of like, if people knew in WWE, I feel like that would have been leaked somehow.
Yeah, there's always people talking about what's going on in the back room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what they said was people were shocked and they were very afraid for their jobs because of all the cuts that were happening.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
that's
especially when they cut someone like Ron, they're like, "What
they're
the hell?"
They're going to cut anybody
because he was on TV in the main event 2 days ago, right?
2 weeks prior, actually.
No, because he got fired and then he was fired for a minute. He wasn't fired and rehired the next day.
No, right, but he got fired 2 weeks after he was on main event challenging for the WWE Championship.
No, but I'm saying that happened even shorter. It was even shorter. It wasn't a week later.
It was less than 2 weeks.
It was less than 2 weeks for sure.
That's what you guys were both saying. Okay.
Anyways, regardless, the other thing I'd say is the reason why I don't think it's a work is because Ron is a good person from what it seems like. I think, and someone's mentioned, like I was reading it on one of the interviews or whatever, and how the person voiced it, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. He's too nice of a person and too sensitive of a person to be like, so a bunch of people I know just got fired. Let's make a story of it. And go with it.
Okay, right, yeah.
Like that is not. Yeah, that's not. And I think that he has enough line in the sand to be like, screw that noise. Like, okay, that's a certain degree of fu too much.
So ultimately, what we're believing, again, as someone who hasn't been watching and doesn't know the full detail, what I'm understanding from this is everyone feels he was brought back because the fan and the locker room wanted him back.
100%.
Backlash is too deep.
It was. It was
okay. Good title too. Backlash is too deep.
It was, and that's ironically Backlash is the name of the pay-per-view, so that perfectly works. But I just think it was like one of those things. It's, sometimes they have to course correct. It's kind of like what happened with Cody, right? When they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give the title shot," or they're insinuating they're gonna give the title shot to The Rock, and everyone's like, no, like finish the damn story. It's been 3 years of this. Like, let's finish it. or like Daniel Bryan or Kofi Mania and so on and so forth. Like it's one of those times where it's not worth the bad publicity. And truth be told, they could probably let go someone else who's not as profitable if we really had to thread the needle or whatever.
Question. I mean, I'm finding it weird that they had to cut people because I would understand that with the Netflix launch, this is one of their biggest growths.
100%.
Is it? Sorry?
But they're still a corporation, and
I know, but are you telling
$100,000?
They're not bringing in enough money with Netflix now as a partner, and all these? Don't they do like 40 dates a year plus Netflix? Like,
but
how are you not have enough money?
But they want to say their sunk costs.
They're just costs, but 3 words: niggas be greedy. Like that's it. Like, what do you mean?
So wait.
I can only say agree with partial to that statement.
When you say that, are you talking about wrestlers are asking for too much to stay as
no. TKO, who owns WWE.
Bottom line, top of the rope, top of the chain. Niggas,
this is, I hate to say it, it's one of me who made that decision. It's an accountant that went somewhere and is in the books and they're like, hey, there's a bottom line. If I save this much money, I get a bonus. Fire these people.
Yeah,
you can these people are not making money enough to make. Or that's another thing, because the one thing that is
Lee J is saying that they're $3 billion in debt.
Yeah,
TK. Can anyone confirm that? Because that is a sad and insane number. $3 billion in debt. Nigga, who the fuck you owe that to? How you get the $3 billion? I understand 300 million. How the fuck you got to deal with Netflix and you $3 billion in the debt?
Because that money is earned over a period of time, and they don't got all those billions.
$3 billion in the red though? Yo, put some respect on your business. How the hell y'all lost that?
And now you know why they fired Ron Gillens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. That's why. Because they
$3 billion is a huge, crazy number.
If you get rid of 10 people, and that automatically makes you another couple of millions in a year.
I'm
just getting rid of him.
I'm going to point out though, cutting a couple people ain't saving you $3 billion. Like you got bigger issues.
Compound.
Just have no chain people.
Cut it like I'm picturing a train on fire, and you are like
super soaking it.
You're trying to like pull the pin so that the cart goes off, but guess what? The bridge is gone and the train is still going over. Yep. That ain't helping you. Like billions, yo. Can we take a second to acknowledge billion is a lot of money to be in debt?
It's a lot.
Allegedly.
I'm thinking 17 years you're employed by a company and you're making say first year you get signed back to WWE 17 years ago. So that was 2025 we are now. I can't do math. But all to say, real time money, he was making what? Let's say 80 grand? 90,000, 100,000?
Dude, they make main roster makes at least five zeros, bro.
5 zeros. Okay, so 5 zeros
minimum.
5 zeros and your bonuses after 17 years. What is he making?
I don't know.
2.3 a year? What are we talking about?
I don't know.
5-year contract for 17 million? What are we talking about? Because
I know also some other stuff with him is that I think when they asked him to come back, he's like, no, I want to go by my actual name. There was that. And I guess he also wanted to be, I guess he wants to do another thing. You know, he doesn't want to be the same guy that he's coming back as. So like I think in Raw, he cut off all of his dreads. He did a bust of what it is right now.
Yeah.
If Akil, you remember that music video.
I don't, but
no, you don't. Beginning of that video, Busta had dreads, and then the end of that video, he was shaving the dreads. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, Busta shaved his dreads."
I clued out of that video when Kellis had that annoying ass hook on it, and it was like,
that one.
Busta, what it is right now. Anyways, all to say.
And then at the end, he's this speed of hit, you rock all your street more, and it's him shaving, and you're like, oh my god, he's shaving his dreads.
And that's when Busta lost his powers. All to say,
Samson style,
man.
17 years. You're saving a lot of money firing this person, and I kind of get that.
One quick thing, Metro Booming did tweet out to Ron Killings and said, "Hey, I would love to do an intro for you." And he's like, "No, I'm cool, man. You know, I want to stick with my intro. It's a really good intro. Like that's him as R-Truth." And then after he got fired and then he got rehired, he's like, "Yo, Metro, you still want to work together? I think I need a new intro now because I'm going as Ron Killings now." And everyone's like, "Oh my god." He's gonna get a new intro.
He just followed my boy Seizi, who did New Day's new theme. So I mean,
dope.
We're not playing over here.
I did some research. Forbes has reported. So Lee J ain't crazy. The big concern is it seems that TKO is highly leveraged with 3.2 billion in debt, supported by 1.2 EBITDA from EBITDA. I always say that wrong. EBITDA. Which can you explain what EBITDA is?
Yeah, Dave, please explain.
Oh man, so it's basically
Because it stands for something specific.
Accounting lingo.
Earnings before
Earnings before interest,
it's
taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
This nigga.
Okay.
I googled it.
I know what it means. It's just like I talk in acronyms all day. I know what the acronym means, but basically what it means, it's like your net worth before like certain types of expenses. Like it's more exactly your exact revenue minus the exact cost it takes to do that.
Okay.
Minus there's other things incorporated, but that's what's meant to.
So they have 1.2 billion of
EBITDA.
Thank you. From 2023. And then TKO has less than 3 years to deal with a ticking time bomb, a $2.7 billion of UFC debt that's due in 2026. So those two things combined add up to a $3.2 billion debt that they have to figure out in the next year and a half.
How did UFC get in so much debt?
I mean, why do you think they're trying to make WWE the most profitable it can be? Because like now that's what's happening.
Nobody cares about niggas punching each other in the face for real talk.
I don't think UFC is as popular as it was in its heyday.
It's not even close.
All them what were those shirts that people used to wear all the time? Tap out shirts? Fuck them shirts. Douchebag.
They're the newer Ed Hardy shirts, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's Ed Hardy shirts.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so with that said, Ron Killing's coming back. He's back. John Cena has how many matches left?
He now has his last appearance was his 19th. Yeah. So that means he has 18 left.
All right.
Which means he's halfway there.
He's taking that belt home. It's gonna be funny. They're gonna be left with the only.
I hope they don't pull because all that is what CM Punk did to him many years ago, and they already messed it up because they already announced that Punk and him are gonna fight. And if you're gonna do that, if he were to walk away with the title, straight up, his last match should have been against CM Punk, and he does exactly what CM Punk did to him because CM Punk once won the title. And they told him the storyline was he was getting fired that night. So if he won the title, he was walking out of the company with the title, and he literally won the belt, walked over the guardrail, and walked out.
Yes.
If you're gonna do that if you're gonna do the same thing with John Cena, you should do it like it should be against CM Punk. It's just too perfect.
But I ask you this, seriously, what the hell do you do with CM Punk afterwards?
Who gives a fuck?
What do you mean?
I know why.
But wait, isn't CM Punk super popular?
Yeah, but that's exactly my point. CM Punk will be able to dig out of whatever thing happens. Because the point is this: I'll match you with another question.
Yeah,
he walks out with the title.
Yeah,
what do you do with the title?
You have the World Heavyweight Championship. That literally takes that.
So now you're going to.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go. That takes that World Heavyweight Championship belt. And from zero or even secondary title to main title because the other one is Gonzo. Yeah.
So now you have one champion for all of WWE? Nah, man.
Fam, what do you mean? They have been having a hard time struggling making two belts make sense for like longest time now.
Well, no, ever since Seth was doing this one, the second one's been something.
Yeah, the second one's been something, but look at after Seth, they're struggling. Why? Because the main story
he gave it to Gunther.
Gunther's reign sucked.
It sucks so much that he won it back. You want to talk about a second travesty? The concept that Uso lost to Gunther this past week.
Which Uso?
Jey Uso, who won the world title against Gunther, which was supposed to be a big thing because it was supposed to be his first main heavyweight championship title run.
Right.
He won that on April 19th.
Yes.
It was
51 days.
Yeah, 51 days. Not even a month, 2 months. He doesn't even get 2 months, and he loses to the same guy that he won it from?
Yeah, it's storytelling. Have you ever
So
seen
storytelling?
Get
out of here, dude.
But they've done that before.
That guy
But
is
they've done
jumping.
that before. Even
Yeah,
I
but
know
the
they've
thing
done that
is,
before.
You want to know why they're doing? Because it fell completely flat. He had almost no title defenses in between, and I guarantee you this: I almost want to say within a year he'll be going back to tag teams.
What?
He's going to go shot. Yeah, he's going to be shot down to mid card. His confidence will be shot, and he'll just go back to freaking.
I know what he's going to do?
He's going to go with his brother, and then you know what they're going to do? They're going to fight New Day because the tag teams. That if you want to know where they don't know what they're doing with, it's the tag teams to the point that you give it to the New Day and like blah.
Super quick question: Isn't Uso like? Doesn't Uso have like a chant that is like super popular and like
over? Ignoring the fact that he's super over. He's ignoring the fact that storyline wise, since he's won the championship, he's also been the super face of helping out his buddies. So this whole long-term storytelling is that Jey Uso's been overworking himself and not just focusing on himself being champion, which is why he lost. After being beat up for 20 minutes straight on Saturday, and still could be, that's why he lost to Gunther. That's the whole story to it. Now, what we're going to do with Gunther using him.
This motherfucker's getting cocky.
He is super cocky because he's just talking out of his ass in this one.
I'm about to make a statement.
Hold on. You both have been talking. Can I hear from Jaws for a second?
I also read that maybe behind the scenes, Jay got injured, and that's why he had to give up the belt.
That could also make sense.
That could be a thing too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just him.
I like that. I was hoping Jaws would pick a side and instead went Switzerland. I also heard another story.
So I'll say this: you said Gunther was bad, right? You said Gunther was bad.
Gunther's reign is trash.
Jey Uso's reign is 1,000 times worse and 1,000 times more pointless. He did not seem confident at all during the last 2 months. It was boring and lackluster. He didn't even raise his own arms for his own damn thing for 2-3 weeks. He couldn't do this.
Yes.
He couldn't do a solo wave. Cry me a river.
Is he injured?
No, it's just he was lazy and boring. He sucked as champion.
And boring.
And I'm saying this. He sucked as champion. He is the classic champion that you want to see chase. And once he grabs, you're like, he's grabbing the car. No, he's the dog that catches the tire of the car driving because then he just gets mushed up in the car and gets thrown away.
I love that Dave is so comfortable saying all this. If Uso was here right now, it would be like,
I would say something similar. I'd say I don't like I do not like this.
Get the fuck out of here.
Straight up, I would say it more eloquently and not in a dickish way.
But I would put a little respect on it.
I would still say, of course. Let's make it clear. I cannot be a wrestler. I'm a frail person. I will be broken. I don't know if I have even the concept of dealing with the social media. I don't know if I could handle that at their level. But if he came up to me and said, "What did you think of my title reign?" I'd be like, seeing you chase for it was cool, but you looked like you lost all of your tank of gas while you had the title, and that affected my perception of you being champion.
I gotta ask though, isn't the whole point once you get to the top, you get to rest a little bit? Like the rest of them have to come for your neck because you're at the top, but you don't have to have that same hunger because you're eating. You're at the top. You're at the
describing heels.
I will explain this in the perfect basic.
Okay, hit us.
Go for it.
The reason why this didn't work for Jay is because the main storyline that they're trying not to tell you that is the main storyline is Seth Rollins and his dumbass faction that doesn't have a fucking name yet after 9 months, and him carrying the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase, which he shouldn't have won. But still, this dummy has the Money in the Bank briefcase, so now he's naturally going to try to chase for the World Heavyweight title that he already held for a year as he was the first World Heavyweight champion as it came back, and what he needs. Jey Uso was the secondary character, even though he was the main event champion, and that's why they took it off of him. So now, hold on. Yeah. Reasons being, when CM Punk eventually gets that World Heavyweight Championship, it needs to be with someone that he has a past feud with. That's something that was very intense. He's faced Seth Rollins, 3 times this year? They had the most intense feud, and then they went and faced each other in a triple threat, and then with Roman and all that stuff, the Royal Rumble, all that shit. So the fact that Gunther wins this shit back means that Seth is going to cash in on Gunther's dumb ass. Seth is going to carry this shit. He's going to hoard it for a while. CM Punk is going to take it from him. It would make no sense for CM Punk to take the title of Jey Uso. You need to get the title.
I think I just figured it out.
Hold on. Okay, I'll let you say it in a second. Just so I understand, Skinny's idea is that the Money in the Bank that Seth has, which you get to challenge anyone who has a title.
You just cash it out at any given time.
Cash it at any moment in time. It could be right after they got their ass kicked. It could be them in the shitter. You could say it at any time.
You could have just won the belt, and then the dude runs in with the money, like, I'm cashing it now while he's sitting.
You could be a bloody mess
right now,
and like on the floor, and they're like, and they're like, cool, kick you in the face.
Wow.
They could actually beat you up, then cash it in to guarantee that they'll beat you.
Oh, that's nasty.
Okay,
so you're saying
about the
hold on. I just want to make sure for anyone who's listening who doesn't know, Seth is going to use that to go and challenge Gunther.
Whomever. He's claiming that he's going to take it. But here's the thing.
And then challenge, and then him and CM Punk will revisit their rivalry.
That's what he's thinking.
And then sorry, let Jaws talk before, because you said you think you figured it out. I just want Jaws to finish his point.
I was going to say the funniest trope about Money in the Bank when someone cashes in is that all the time, doesn't matter. The ref doesn't know what the hell to do, and he just takes forever to activate the bank.
To actually start the match.
It takes forever to start the match. You're like, oh, what? Dude, cash it in. Oh, what? I don't know what this is. You know what it is. You did the match yesterday.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it's also, just to add on to like the concept of using it, people have turned like a championship match into a triple threat by joining into the match.
Okay, hit us.
So
you think you solved it?
Here's the thing. Well, here's why I think I solved the Money in the Bank. I think that Seth I think one of two things will happen. Either A, when John Cena tries to walk away with the title, Seth will then cash it in immediately so that he goes greedy, or B, whomever beats John Cena for the title is holding it for a total of 5 seconds, because then Seth will come and steal it and say, you're not getting your toys back because it's my turn to shape the world that I promise you I'm going to shape, because I am the future.
You really like you.
That's his shtick. His shtick is he's the future. His shtick is he's the architect for the future. And why would he not do that?
Real quick, Jaws' whole theory about Randy Orton, did that already happen?
That happened immediately after he said it, and happened a week later.
Okay, so Randy Orton is not in play in any which case.
No, he did the legend bit. He did everything that Jaws said except for beating Cena. That's the only thing he did not accomplish.
Okay, yeah, because I was just trying to figure out why Cena still had the belt. Okay, so you're saying that Seth is going to do it.
I'm saying that instead of it being, because you have to appreciate. So
he's talking about a different belt, though.
Yeah, because the company has two
intercontinental.
No. So when you were growing up, there was world title and intercontinental and like tag, right?
Right.
So since there's been multiple shows, they've created, like, example, one show has the intercontinental title, the other one has the American title.
Okay,
you have they took the WCW belts and brought them over.
Exactly. So the WCW belt is like the world title,
right.
And then you have the other title, which is like the WWW or undisputed title, or is it called WWW?
Yeah,
it's undisputed.
Okay.
So
I think the WCW one is world heavyweight.
Yeah.
The other
so
around forever.
They were on one belt for a while. Like Roman Reigns had unified. He won both at one point in time.
Okay.
Unified them, and then he had one for a little bit. Then they said, okay, we can't do this anymore because both main like TV shows need their own title, because it's a little hard to do storytelling like that because of crossover. So they reintroduced a world title. That world title, which is the WCW looking title, Seth Rollins had for almost a year.
Okay,
and he made it very like he put respect on the title.
Okay, and
the title hasn't bounced around that much. To be honest, it bounced around a little, and then it went to Gunther for a really long time. And whether you like Gunther or not, he's put respect on the title in the sense that like
the people he fought sucked. What do you mean?
It doesn't matter though. He put respect on the title, that he made it like you have to win this title. It was a big deal to beat him.
Yes, but if you're the powerhouse and you're fighting people who don't matter, what does that matter?
Doesn't
matter.
Jaws, hold on. Jaws.
My argument to you, Skinny, is look at Taker when he was wrestling early on. He'll tell you himself, all my matches before were trash. The only good match I had was with Brett, because Brett could keep up and he's on my level. I'm just fighting a bunch of big dudes that are slow. And it was very frustrating. I had to fight a bunch of slow dudes.
I'm going to just go back to see who Gunther faced.
I'm telling you, he fought
the Yeti.
There was definitely...
But Uso currently has the belt that Gunther had.
He had it. So 51 days ago,
right?
He won at WrestleMania, and then he had a rematch where he lost it right back to him.
No, yeah, which again, I understand that part because that's something they've done in wrestling since the dawn of time.
But when
and it's something that happens in boxing. It's something that happens in all sports. You have a title, someone wins the title, you want the title back. Challengers come and go. Wrestling gets to do it faster because they do their story turnover way quicker than like you can't do the same thing you would do in wrestling in boxing or
because people have to heal up.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of stuff. So yeah.
But needless to say, this was all a fun wrestling tangent. We actually went so much further. Is there anything else?
I'm happy.
If you guys want, I could continue.
Like I said,
it's always fun bitching about wrestling.
I know I know you guys know wrestling, so that's why it's always fun to and I like being able to be the avatar for the listeners because I don't know, so I have a bunch of questions. Skinny.
Okay, Dave.
He's just gonna hate on this content.
No, I'm not hating.
He's doing what I do. Facts.
Listen, Gunther won at SummerSlam, right?
Okay.
He defeated Damian Priest. He beat Damian Priest.
So there you go.
Guy goes on to beat Randy Orton.
There you.
So
you're saying Randy Orton? So it's Randy Orton shit.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
All right.
He goes on. Yeah, you've been killing me all week, man. Jesus. Okay, he goes on to beat. He goes on to beat Randy Orton. All right, they shake hands out of respect. All right. He defeats Sami Zayn in a rematch to retain the title. Crown Jewel, he loses to Cody Rhodes. Right. Survivor Series War Games, Gunther defeats Priest in a SummerSlam rematch to return the title. So Damian Priest twice, Randy Orton lost to Cody Rhodes. Okay. Sami
Zayn is a worthy name to mention, bro. Sammy's not someone to sleep on. They're literally doing all. He's gonna win.
Shush. Thank you.
I told you to let him finish, man. You keep jumping in.
God,
Let him
yeah,
finish.
I'm excited.
All right. And also, if you want to say Sami Zayn's worthy, Sami Zayn beat his ass for the Intercontinental title. So the fact that Sami Zayn beat him for the championship he held the longest, but then couldn't beat him for the World Heavyweight Championship right after is stupid storytelling. Stop that.
No, it means that either one could win.
Dog.
If that's stupid, then the Uso one is stupid. You have to choose one.
Now we're gonna keep going. Saturday night's main event. He successfully defended the title against Jey Uso. Royal Rumble. All right. Uso picked Gunther as the champion. So he wasn't even at the. He defended his title 5 times. 5 times. 2 people that he lost to prior. He beats Jey Uso at Saturday's main event 2 months later and then loses to him. And you're telling me that Gunther's reign was better than Jey Uso's 51 days in which Jey Uso was on Raw in the main event 3 or 4 times? Nah, dude, you can't do that. If anything, it was... If anything,
I will.
Was Jey Uso regularly having to defend his title against people? Like people were challenging him a lot?
How many title reigns did Uso have?
Right after WrestleMania, he defended it against Seth. All right, and then he just defeated who else? Who did he just defeat at Saturday Night's main event? Logan Paul. He beat Logan Paul.
So you're saying Logan Paul's the greatest? Crazy, like I'm saying
Logan Paul's not the greatest, but he is big for visibility. So that's why I would say
that. What I'm saying is it's about equal because if anything, they defended their title. If Jey Uso didn't do it 5 times, he did it about 4 times. But the storylines Jey Uso was in was more compelling and way better than what the fuck the Gunther was doing.
Okay, and with that, we got to move on because that was crazy segue that went in. But again, I love when you guys talk wrestling because I don't know this stuff as much. Hopefully, you guys who are out there listening have enjoyed that. If you guys want them to do more, get in the comments because I keep asking them to do more and they don't want to do it. They don't want to have these guys.
These are stupid things,
guys. I'm here begging them to do more wrestling content. So if you like them doing this,
triggering wrestling.
If you guys like this, get in the comments and tell them you want to hear more wrestling stuff. Just another reminder, once again, we're going to be doing our event on June 21st at Colors MTL, 4710 Saint Ambroise, Unit 120. There's going to be food, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be free haircuts. First come, first serve on the haircut, so make sure you get there early. It starts at 4 p.m. It ends at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets now at geekcypher.com. When you get a ticket, it's donation-based. It's a suggested donation of $5, but give what you can. We appreciate you guys. We've been doing this for 7 years, 400-plus episodes. This is episode 415. We've done 400 episodes of the show. It's always been a pleasure doing these episodes for you guys, so we really appreciate it, and we definitely want to hang out with you guys, so come through. And again, you can get your tickets at geekcypher.com, GEEKCYPHA. I don't even know. I can talk really quick about the movie I saw. I want to tell you guys about this fun little movie, but Skinny, you don't often get to stay towards the end. Is there anything you've watched or checked out recently that you wanted to talk about?
No, TV-wise, things have been pretty quiet over in this house. So.
I know, yeah. We're waiting for Ironheart, but otherwise, TV industry.
Really caught up on much, so no, not for me.
Foundation is coming back, by the way. If you guys are looking for some good sci-fi, that's coming out January. January. Jesus Christ! It's coming July 11th, the same day that Superman drops. I already got my tickets for Superman and my tickets for Fantastic Four. So hopefully, if you guys
Are those both of the same day?
No. The July 11th and July 25th. But the tickets are on sale now. If you're a fan now, I would highly recommend buying your tickets because some of those theaters, when I'm looking at those tickets, they're selling out already early
like
week.
thinking of July. That means summer's over. I'm good.
You know what I hate? I never had to worry about this, but now because Google's West Island closed, I have to actually worry about finding a gosh darn ticket. Because I could go there day of.
I know.
And just buy and walk in.
I'm going to. I'm seeing one of the movies in the South Shore because that was because I like VIP experiences.
Okay.
And the movies.
We didn't want to go to
no little brow here.
The movie's not playing at Forum for some reason.
Okay.
And the other place it's playing is Royal Mount, and I don't want to go to that fake bougie place where you have to pay for parking. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, what? No.
Yeah, Royal.
Screw Royal
on the other side,
and then walk through the tunnel. I know. As a kid who grew up in the neighborhood, I know exactly where to park. I'm still not going all the way there just to see a movie because I should not have to walk 25 minutes to my car. Like this is not. We live in Montreal. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all are crazy. But yeah, real quick. I will talk about this film. I saw the film California King. It stars Travis Bennett, aka Taco from Odd Future. He's in the movie with Jimmy Tatro, who is the Jimmy Tatro has been in what? He's the weird kid in the Netflix series American Vandal. That kind of faux mockumentary thing, where they people were drawing penises on cars, and it was like a whole thing, and they did it like a crime, like you know how like everyone loves those true crime stories. Yeah, so Netflix did one, but it's a mockumentary version, and it's all about them trying to find out who's been doing penises on cars. It's actually really, really funny if you watch American Vandal, but Jimmy Tatro is really funny too. Joel McHale is in the movie, and Victoria Justice is in the movie. So if you guys are looking for a funny film that is one of the weirdest concepts, it's about these two friends who live in a small town. I think they live in is it Paris? They live in a small town that has the same name as a famous city, because the continuous joke throughout the film is just like, not that one. It would be like if you're in London, Ontario, you're like, not, you say, oh, we live in London, not that one.
That sounds like that ESPN commercial. They're like, yes, sir, how can I help you? I'm Michael Jordan.
No. Yeah.
He's like this middle-aged white guy, and they're like, yeah, table for one, Michael Jordan for 5:00. Oh. Yeah, not that one. And then another one is like they're at their table, and then some guy's about to come out with this nice bottle of wine. They're like, no, it's not him. It's not.
Yeah.
Go.
So that's it. So the movie's about these two guys. One friend is like really smart. He's dedicated. He's like has a hard work ethic. The other friend's kind of up, and the story's about them kind of getting involved in like a crazy situation. The mob gets involved. The kidnapping's happening. People go missing. The cop, like a new cop, moves to town. This black woman who's a cop moves to town, and she's the only smart cop on the like, you know, that the usual trope of like small town cops don't know shit, but then there's always that city cop who shows up and helps them get better. That happens, and she's helping them investigate. They're trying to figure out stuff, and equally funny though. The movie does start with like someone doing vandalism and painting like a naked woman on the mattress store they work out. Hence the title California King, because it's the mattress. And the whole story starts with them investigating who's drawing this graffiti on the front window of this woman with big boobs and like explicit imagery on the front of our business. So if you're looking for a fun short movie, 90 minutes, not even, I think it's 85 minutes. But you can knock it out, and it's really entertaining. Highly, highly recommend California King with Travis Bennett. Yep, that's that was my one thing. Guys, anything else you want to tell the people? Any?
Mormon Wives is pretty nuts. I watched that. Sorry.
Which one?
Mormon Wives or something. Something.
Oh God, these reality.
And threw it on, and we're like, let's watch this, and I'm like, oh wow, y'all are wilding, and I'm like, okay, I'm tuned in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
you into dirty soda yet?
What's dirty soda?
It's just, I think they put creamer So they have like what was it, Dr. Pepper, and they put creamer in it. It's a dirty soda. Apparently it's good. In India, they do milk and Pepsi. In India, that's a thing.
I'm still trying to get over Orange Julep. Anyways,
yeah.
I'm watching Letterkenny. Finally, like getting through it all.
Let's
Super
go.
Funny show. Crazy.
Yeah, you're continuing because I think you mentioned before you've been checking it out, right?
So we're on I think season 4. I think.
I always, like I say, Jason Mantzoukas talks about that show on the Last Looks, which is the side podcast for How Did This Get Made, and every chance he gets, he talks about Letterkenny. So
Letterkenny is amazing.
The jokes are just coming at you like this, and it's like you're in a
Canadians,
fight.
baby.
It's like you're in a boxing match, and the dude just hitting you with jabs constantly, and you're like,
Canadian, baby.
Oh, dude, the writing for that show, I finished it not too long ago. And just so you know, when you're done that, you do want to watch Shoresy, but you should watch Letterkenny. I'm not saying
Shoresy is a spin-off the hockey one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, about the boy? Oh my God! Really? They got
about the random.
Shoresy is basically one of their side characters that ends up getting his own show, but the side character is also played by the lead character.
Right.
Except for during the show, you only see Shoresy by the back, so you never see his face. It's funny because you see him like essentially naked a bunch of times, but you'll never see his face, which is really funny.
Man, he's freaking dirty.
It's dirty. But I'm telling you, you don't even necessarily have to watch all the way to the end in the sense that there's an episode that at the end it's clearly okay. He's like they do a good way of saying this is where Shoresy starts.
Oh, okay.
Like where this is clearly where this side story starts type thing. But like both those shows are incredibly written. Like Shoresy, at the end of season 3, you're realizing you were watching a 3-season story arc and only realized at the end it was great. But Letterkenny, the writing in that show, like the dialogue, I don't know. Sometimes I rewatch segments just because I'm like I laugh so much I didn't get some of the jokes. And I'm trying to like hear
7 episodes, and so I was telling my girl like. They have to cram in so much jokes because it's just 7 episodes and they trim the fat. There's no
and half an hour too
or whatever. It's just bam, 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 and they just cram as many as they can. Like the fact that they do a bit where it's like they're saying letters of the alphabet and they're just and they're saying letters of the alphabet and they're talking about a topic and just going and just joke.
All right, great. Well, we got to bounce, y'all. That's the whole show. Anything you guys want to tell people? Anything to end it off?
Check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Model Podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
Dave? Skinny? Anything? No?
Check out my Maximum Spider-Man review. I just put that out like half an hour ago.
Oh, dope.
You should spend time looking at that instead of looking at Jay Huso's title run. But anyways,
every fucking time, Dave.
Yeah, look, I can't wait to get at something you like. I can't wait to. Oh my gosh, I'm going at Guy Gardner when I see that Superman movie. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah,
I think this haircut is the stupidest, wildest thing I've ever seen.
The whole Green Lantern core.
We gonna rip that whole core. No asshole.
Hey, it's comic book
if Vixen isn't in the Green Lantern show played by Tiana Taylor, we fucking riot. That's all I'm saying.
That actually is a very valid statement.
Everyone's been saying it. Everyone's been tweeting at James Gunn. Keep posting to James Gunn to hire Tiana Taylor. That woman is gorgeous and she should be playing Vixen.
You should
badass woman right there.
You should check out Skinny's review. It's nice, as well as the Warlock one that's right before that. It's actually a nice one.
Oh, okay. Look at you. Yeah.
I was giving you props. You were so focused on me. You were so focused on me shitting on Jay Uso. You didn't realize I was throwing you props first. I literally said you're more important than the Yeet Nation, and you're shooting shade at me.
Yes, I will.
You still took a jab at the end, though. You still took a jab at the end. You didn't have to. But that's you. That's you, Dave.
Fuck Jay Uso. No, wow. I actually really like Jay Uso, but I did not like his title run. I'm not going to put it that.
Yeah, guys, y'all heard we've been saying it all throughout the episode. Go check it out. Geekcypher.com. We got you can get the tickets for the show. We're going to be doing special event at Colors MTL 4710 St. Ambroise, Unit 120. Saturday, June 21st, 4 to 7 p.m. Free food, free drinks, free haircuts. Get your tickets first come, first serve. That's the whole show, y'all. We are out. We love y'all. Peace, everybody.